NVIDIA can't make enough 4090s. Meta, Facebook, is going to start charging you for not allowing them to serve you ads. And Windows has finally been fixed. Let's get into the hot news, everybody. I'm your Brett host. We're going to be going over the hottest tech news they can find on the internet while you enjoy your breakfast this Wednesday, October 4th, 2023, which means it's time for the Cannonball. My wife and I are actually in New York City right now preparing for this, and that's actually what's going on with my hair because we raised over $5,000 before the event even started. We bleached my hair in preparation for some of the shenanigans that were going on. So big thanks to everybody who joined us on our drive from PA to New York and helped us raise that amount of money. And again, if you want to donate to help cure my son's rare disease, you use the link in the video description. And we're going to be live starting at 9 a.m. Eastern, or the time that this episode of Hot News does come out. And if in case you want to pick up some, this is old merch, we have some new merch that you can pick up for the Cannonball in case you're interested in that. But let's jump into the hot news. Reeseless today because he's trying to get a few Z's in before the Cannonball starts, but NVIDIA can't get enough 4090 sales going over in Japan. Retailers are coming out and saying that while they are trying to sell as much as they can, the 4070 Ti seems to be one of the most popular cards that exists, and the 4080 just exists in a price point that very few people want to choose it, but because of that, the lower end 4090s seem to be limited in stock. NVIDIA is deliberately putting them out of stock where they cannot get enough of everything that they're trying to sell because the 4090 is what people want. And if they can't get that, they get the 4070 Ti. This does seem to reflect a little bit of what we're seeing here in the Western markets, especially if you look at something like Best Buy. Getting something like the Founders Edition is very difficult to get, especially with it being so close to that MSRP. Some of the more expensive ones are a bit more in stock, but it does look like maybe there's some trickling of stock shortages going on with the 4090. Could that potentially mean a 4090 Ti supplanting the 4090? It's not quite clear to see what's going on just yet, but we'll keep you posted as we learn more about this here on Hot News. And what you need to learn about, at least if you're in the United States, is that at 2:20 p.m. Eastern time today, FEMA is going to be launching a test of the nationwide public broadcasting announcement on your phone. So you will get a loud alert that you were not able to opt out of on your phone today at 2:20 p.m. Eastern, which is just your reminder to come join us for the Cannonball. And right now is about when I would segue to Reese for news, but I don't have any. Sydney, can you come give us the news? The deals. I would segue to Reese for deals. I even messed it up. Reese, Sydney, give us the deals.
Okay. Looks like Intel has this very beautiful blue box on sale. It says Core 15, and it's going to be $154.99 with promo code.
That's from yesterday.
Oh.
Reese didn't update this. It's okay.
Oh.
Thank you for trying your best.
The deals are, you can help cure SYNGAP1 for a small donation to SRF.
Hey, yo, that's good to see. And you can also help cure Facebook's lack of revenue by just giving them a smooth $17 a month. That's what they're going to be requesting, at least with European users who have been actually under investigation for some privacy issues regarding to how they track people for their ads. And Facebook's response is, okay, well, if we can't track them, we would like to charge them about 10 euros a month and then 6 euros for every additional account that they have on a singular Facebook or a singular Instagram account. We're adding up to that $17 a month. Now, it's not quite clear if EU regulators would approve this. It would be ridiculous if they did, but could you imagine paying for your social media in case you actually don't want it to serve you ads that you didn't consent to them tracking you with in the first place? It's a weird situation that we're embarking ourselves in, which is exactly what's happening when it comes to Twitter's X situation, because they are now in a trademark infringement lawsuit in the state of Florida from a company called X, who ran a social media company and calls themselves X Social Media, with them providing documentation that they have been in the same space as Twitter, not necessarily as a social media platform, but definitely in the social media space since 2016, and that they frequently use the X portion of their branding for everything they were doing, and making it so that Elon Musk transitioning over to X has made it so that they can no longer do business in a way that they regard as okay. And this is leading to lawsuits that many people expected would come when Elon Musk transitioned to X, because there would be either legitimate or illegitimate lawsuits that were coming out, and it looks like this is one of the ones that's going to be fought out in the court of law. And Ford is trying to fight out in the streets of getting your money because they're announcing a brand new F-150 Lightning known as the Flash Edition, which the Cannonball that we're doing this year isn't an F-150 Lightning, and this actually would have been the one that I would have gotten had it been available, because it essentially is everything that I need, including the fact that it has a heat pump for better efficiency, it has the long range trim coming in at 320 miles, as well as a tech focused interior, essentially everything that I possibly want, starting at a much cheaper price point than some of the alternatives out there. The biggest thing is with something like this XLT, which starts at $57,000, you have to add a little bit more to get the extended range battery, whereas the Flash will just by default have it. But I think this just kind of shows how far Ford has slipped since they announced the F-150 Lightning, considering the Pro was supposed to start closer to $40,000 and all of these were supposed to be about $10,000 cheaper. So the fact that they can even push the Flash in at that price point means that they're not hitting their original price targets that they led customers to expect that they were going to get for their trucks. And that's also happening when it comes to Apple. I don't have this linked in the description, but Apple is now saying that the original Apple Watch, including the 18 karat gold one that they sold for over $10,000, $17,000 is how much they sold it for, is now obsolete. And that's exactly what you want to hear in the luxury watch market when you spend that much money. But Nintendo doesn't want you to think that the Switch is obsolete, because they've announced that despite the fact that they are still expected to continue on past the original Nintendo Switch sometime in the 24 to 2025 region, especially when it comes to the fiscal calendar, they are going to provide support for the original Nintendo Switch until at least March 2025, making it almost a full decade since the device launched. And speaking of companies that don't support their products as long as their competitors, especially with the Google Pixel supposed to be getting 7 years of OS support as of today if they announce it at their event, Samsung is adding cloud gaming to your Galaxy phone. You can just get that added in, which they're going to announce at their Samsung Developer Conference, which is taking place at some point tomorrow. In case you want to play more video games on your phone, but in case you want to set up your Windows situation to be way better, well, here it finally has happened. The Windows 11 Dynamic RGB Control is now out of beta and is rolling out to all Windows 11 users in the latest updates, which will allow you to actually configure all of the RGB that you got with your PC in a singular setup. You don't have to depend on anybody else. You don't have to depend on third-party software that you're installing. It should all be seamlessly integrated within Windows 11. Now, this has been in beta for quite some time, so I want to pass the question off to you. Have you actually played with the Windows 11 Dynamic RGB lighting software? Have you found it functional, enjoyable in a way that you actually want to use it? Is it better than potentially downloading half a dozen different RGB softwares? Let me know down below in the comments. I'm gonna let you know that I need to go rinse this bleach out of my hair because it's starting to sting. Don't forget that we have the Cannonball going on right now. If you want to help raise money to cure my son's rare disease, that'd be appreciated. We have over $60,000 in tech prizes that we're going to be giving away. It'd be appreciated if you guys could come join us. We'd love to see you there. Cheers.